Hello guys, this is our first video for IBMYP math, and we'll be going over both extended and standard content. Now we'll be starting with algebra and indices, and you have done this before, basic operations on algebraic terms, but this is just a recap. So the four operations we'll be dealing with be addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, so let's start. So if we have one box, so we have this box containing p apples, and then another box containing p apples, which means both of these boxes have the same amount of apples. So how many apples do we have in total? Well, we don't know how many apples are in there, but we know we represent the number of apples as p. So what we do is we do p plus p. Now that gives us 2p. Now if there is, so I'll tell you, so if I have a x, okay, here a is an integer or a rational number or any real number. A could be any real number, and this is the coefficient. So this is the coefficient of the expression, and x, which is an unknown, we don't know what is this value, that is the variable. And if I have something like ax plus b, so a is the coefficient, x is the variable, and b is the constant. Now this is all basic algebra, but I'm just going over it in case I expect all of you to know this, but it's fine. Now we get p plus p is equal to 2p. So if there is no coefficient in front of the variable, assume it is 1. Okay, so 1p plus 1p, you add 1 plus 1, 2p. Okay, now this is a very simple case of what is known as collecting like terms. You already know this. Now if we wanted to add another 3 boxes of p apples, we would want to add 2p plus 3p. So p plus p plus p plus p plus p, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5p. So you can just add 2 plus 3, which is equal to 5. But what if we wanted to now add 4 boxes, each containing q apples, to our existing boxes of apples? You already have 5p here, but you would not add 4 to it, because look, we know that 2p and 3p, so p is equal, p and p are the same, so that means these 2 boxes and these 3 boxes already have the same amount of apples. So we can add them. For example, if say p was like 3, for example, so I would have 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is 3 plus 3 6, 9, 12, 15. Yeah, and it says 2p and 3p. Okay, so I have 2 times 3 plus 3 times 3, which is equal to 6 plus 9, which is equal to 15. But we don't know, the q is different from p, so we don't know how many apples is equal to q. So q is how many apples, so therefore we keep them separate. Like here, we cannot collect 5 boxes of p apples and 4 boxes of q apples into one combined term, because we don't know how many apples are in each size of box. We cannot simplify this expression further because p and q are not like terms. Replace p and q with any other pronumerals and the same logic applies. Okay, so this is known as like terms. Now the definition of like terms is that the variables are the same. So you can combine 2 variables which are the same. 2 algebraic terms are called like terms if they have exactly the same combination of variables. What I mean to say is, if I have x plus y plus y, Yeah. So x and x are the same variables. So this is 2x. And y are the same variables plus 2y. So x and x are like terms. Y and y are like terms. But x and y are not like. So x plus y. These are unlike terms. Okay. Now let's look at the expression 9x plus 4y minus 5x plus 2y. So this means that 9 groups of x plus 4 groups of y minus 5 groups of x plus 2 groups of y. What do we have here? 9x and minus 5x. These are like terms. 4y and 2y are like terms. So 9x, so if we combine that, now if we rearrange them, we put the like terms together. That makes it simpler. So 9x minus 5x plus 4 groups of y plus 2 groups of y, which means we have 9x minus 5x, which is 4x, and 4y plus 2y, which is 6y. Now we have 9x plus 4y minus 5x plus 2y, which is 4x plus 6y. Now we cannot simplify 4x plus 6y any further because x and y represent different unknown values and they are not like terms. Now we have a worked out example 3s plus 5t plus 2s plus 8t. Now think, to simplify an expression we collect all the like terms. So 3s and 2s both have the same variable, so they are like terms and we can combine them. Similarly 5t and 8t are also like terms. Now let's rearrange the expression and group the like terms together so we can clearly see which terms we need to sum. So we can group these together and we can see which terms we have to sum. So we have to sum this and then we have to sum this. So 5s plus 5t plus 8t, which is 5s plus 13t. Now we identified like terms, combined them until no like terms remained. We can add any of the terms together regardless of the ordering of the expression. Make sure that you simplify the expression and write it in its simplest form. And yeah, that's it for addition and subtraction. Now we'll go to multiplying and dividing algebraic terms. Well, we multiply and divide algebraic terms using this process. So first we split them each term into each of its coefficient and its pronumerals. Then find the product or quotient of the coefficient of the terms. I'll explain. When multiply, combine like factors into a power. For example, x times x would be x squared. So if I have x, so remember repeated multiplication is exponents. So to the power of. So x times x would be equal to x squared. Y times y would be equal to y. And how many times are we repeating y? 3 times. Y to the power 3. Now, unlike adding and subtracting, when we multiply or divide algebraic terms, we can collect them into one term. So, for example, 6x times 9y. Well, 6 times 9, 54. And remember, so in addition, we don't know their quantities, but in multiplication, even if it's 5 and even if it's 13, xy would be equal to 5 times 13. So you would get it, the same thing. So 54xy. So here, always follow this process whenever solving any mathematical question. First you think about the question, then you do the required steps after your thinking process, and then you reflect on what you have done. It's an important skill. So here we have a product of algebraic terms. So we can follow the process above, which was described above, to simplify this. So 6 has a coefficient of 6 and the variable pronumeral is a variable x. 9y has a coefficient 9 and a pronumeral y. Well, we first need to evaluate the product of the coefficient. So here we have 6 times 9, which is 54. Now 6 has x but not y, and 9y has y but not x. So we cannot simplify the variables any further. This leaves us with the factors 54 times x times y, which is equal to 54xy. Note, if it was something like 6x times 9x, what do we have here? 6 times 9 times x So x times x, so 9 times is 54, x times x is, so we get 54x squared. Now here we have a quotient of algebraic terms, so we can follow the same process as above except that we divide instead of multiplying. We can also write this division as a fraction. So whenever you're doing your e-assessments or whenever you're writing, do not write like this. Do not use this division. Write it as a fraction like 6xz over 9yz. Okay, so 6xz has a coefficient of 6 and the variables x and z. 9yx has a coefficient 9 and the variables y and z. Well, we need to simplify the quotient. So how can we write 6 over 9? So if we divide it, we'll simplifying fractions is pretty simple. You guys need to know how to know this. So you get 6 divided by 3, 2, 9 divided by 3, 2 by 3. Now we simplify the pronumerals. So you have x z over y z. Okay, and since z is common, we can cancel z out, and we can remain it as x over y. Now we have to multiply them. So 2 by 3 times x over y, and you get 2x over 3y. So if you, for example, if it said something like this, xz over 2zy, okay, so 1z, 1z. So what would have x over yz? Then you would have x over yz. Now so if I have to summarize whatever we did in multiplication and division, we multiply and divide algebraic terms using this process. Split each term into its coefficient and variables. Find the product or quotient of the coefficient of the terms. When multiplying, combine like factors into a power. When dividing, cancel any common factors. For example, x divided by x is equal to 1, so just cancel it out. Combine the coefficient and pronumerals into one term. So unlike adding and subtracting, when we multiply and divide algebraic terms, we combine them into one term. Now do these questions. First do the first three questions. Okay, you can pause the video and do that. Okay, so 9x plus 4x. Well, I'll show you one more trick. So we have x common in both of them. So we can take x common and we can do 9 plus 4, which is equal to 13x. Now simplify the expression. So I have 12n minus 7n, because we need to combine like terms, minus 9n. So this gives us 12 minus 5n minus 9. Now here's the biggie. So simplify the expression negative 6vw minus 4v square w plus 2v square w minus 8wv. So what do we have here? Wv, remember w times v or v times w is exactly the same thing. 6 times 9 is the same as 9 times 6. Okay, what this means is this and this are like terms. So what is minus 8 minus 6 minus 14 decided as VW, and minus 4 plus 2 minus 2V square W. And note one more thing, x and x are like terms, x and x square are not like terms. Okay, so like it literally has to be the same, literally. Okay, now let's check our answers if we got it right. So the first one gives us 13x, the first one gives us 13x, the second one gives us 5n minus 9m, correct, and the third one is negative 14vw minus 2v square w. Amazing. Now we have to simplify the expression 9 times n times 8. 8 nines are 72, Combine the coefficients first, multiply them, then mn. Oh, what do we have here? Okay, they are not like terms. So 7 times 6, 42. U square V8. Just multiply them. And here we have simplified the expression 63 over 9. Let me zoom in. Simplify the expression 63 over 9. So 63 over 9 is what? 7. 9 7s are 63. Now P is common, so we can cut P out and we are left with Q. Okay, let's check our answers. Um, just a minute. Okay, the first one is 72 mn, which is right. Then is 42 u square v8, then is 7q. Correct. Let us give us a perfect score of, let's say, each one of us 2 marks. So 12 out of 12. Amazing work, guys. Okay, let me know in the comment section what score you guys got, and thank you. Have a nice day. This was just the basics, so you don't need to worry about it. I'm pretty sure most of you know how to do these, and in IBMYP 4 and 5 this is expected knowledge. And algebra is something which is really big in any mathematical concept you do from now on. So these basics need to be at the back of your head, because throughout IBMYP and IBDP, which is grades 11 and 12, algebra will be in every single topic you do, from trigonometry, geometry. It will make your life much more easier if you know how to work with like terms, and algebra as a whole. Thank you.